On October 6th, I posted a video where I talked about the trench that Angela and I dug. We dug it by hand. Very tedious, hard labor work, especially here. There's a lot of big rocks that you just kind of like, it's excavator work that we did by hand. And I'm just looking at all my uploads here, which was 11 more uploads over the month, most of which involved some form of strenuous riding. On the days where I didn't upload, I was still riding my dirt jumper or my BMX. Like for example, this past weekend, Saturday was the Mount Edwards Dirt Jump Jam. It was really fun. Sunday, me and my friend Ryan and Carrie drove out to Liverpool and we rode that bull for like 4 hours. Anyway, all that rambling to say, I thought that I was sore and like hurting a little bit due to digging the trench still. It's definitely because I've been riding bikes pretty much every day. It would likely be wise to give my body some time to recover. And one way to curb the appetite of getting on a bike was finally tackling a lot of the things that I was procrastinating in here. See, this is a homemade sound absorbing box, and this is a homemade sound absorbing box, each of which was supposed to be up where they are. But for 3 months, they were on the ground here. This one was completely uncovered. It had no cover on it, and I would just move them around and work around them. It was like 2 minutes to put them up. And I think they look okay. This one you can hardly even see. Probably should have done this one white as well. And number two, as you can see, there's a couple bikes on the wall. Same argument. They're not on the ground. They're out of the way. That makes life so much easier in here. I made an entire video about this type of wall mount bike stand, bike mount thing. If you'll remember, I had hooks up here before. But in the end, with the hooks, the way the bikes hung, I didn't like how much real estate I lost by them. Like, you don't realize how far out they come until you actually have them up there, and you're like, and I found myself kind of not loving that system, especially knowing that this desk is gonna get built out to here-ish, and if there's bikes hanging that low, you will hit your head. So went to this system, which also has the added benefit of like putting the bikes on display. I think they look nice, although this frame is quite busy. I also put up a backpack, coat, sweater, and hat rack, a place for the brooms, a place for the dustpan. It's just so much easier to stay organized when everything kind of has a place. Like these always go back home. These always go back home now. I just put these up as well. This will always go back home. These are always in their place. This is the next step. I think probably one of the worst culprits for robbed space and added clutter in an area is probably a bike that is not fully together, like a bike that I have robbed parts off of to put other things together, and then it just sort of like is in the way. So I'm taking this 2 days of self-prescribed don't ride a bike as an opportunity to get the flat bar Redwood back into riding condition. So I've got this Advent stuff. I do have its wheels. These are the original tires from the Norton. These are a little lighter. I also went and bought a cassette and chain. I've actually been putting this off for longer than I care to admit. Weird, right? Derailleur on. Kind of. Shifter. That seems like a logical next step. You know, for a stock wheel, it's a good sounding hub. The Redwood is such a rad looking bike. I haven't like had it with its wheels on for a little while. I just kind of forgot. So when you're doing cables, when you cut it, sometimes the sheathing on the inside gets a little bit collapsed. I want to just poke it back open with like a dental pick or something. Definitely reduces a lot of friction. Okay, that is Redwood back together. Again, I know there's nothing here that's like any different than a stock Redwood other than tires, but holy frig, these are cool looking bikes. And now that it is back together, it is 100% easier to move around, easier to manage in general. But my friend Carrie was asking, is there a bike that you could ride around on the road, ride with his son Owen, like put a thing on so that his son Owen could go around, and then other times like be on a road, and if you see something kind of cool, like a gravel road or like a trail, you could just turn off and go ride that kind of thing. And I mean, so he'll be riding this thing to do stuff like that. And when he does, I'll follow him around on the far. They are pretty similar bikes. So we'll be able to kind of just cruise around and just show him the ropes of what it's like to ride something that isn't a 20-inch wheeled BMX. Okay, I managed to kill this entire day without riding a bike. Body feels pretty happy. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is the end of the Therapeutic garage recovery session, at least for this video.